Good evening, Rampage family. Welcome back. Game 3 in Chicago. Tonight's matchup is against the Philadelphia Junior Flyers. And at least on paper, in the rankings, this is the highest ranked team that we're playing against this weekend. So rankings don't really mean anything at all. However, I would expect this to be a strong team. So I think we can start with that. Expect it to be a tough game. Boys coming off of a couple of good wins yesterday. First game was a nail-biter. Won in overtime against the Junior Kings. And then last night, boys did a great job of getting an early lead at the end of the first and then maintaining it through the rest of the game. So whatever it takes, let's hope they've got to figure out how to win tonight. As I always say, I do sincerely appreciate all of you tuning in and all of the nice things that everybody says along the way. We are entirely voluntary here on at Empty Pockets Hockey, and appreciate all of the help and support we get along the way. Special thanks again to Sonia Shields for again running the camera. Sonia does a lot to help out the team, help out the boys, help them work through different, injuries or ailments. Doc McSonia is ready to go all the time. So she does a great job. We appreciate her. And she's also my expert level camera crew, which makes life a lot easier for me because then I can use a microphone and stand down a little ways away from other team parents, which actually for all kinds of reasons, that's better for me. It's better for you. It's better for America. Just a little over 2 minutes left in the warm-up period. Boys are out getting warm, getting mobile. My hope for tonight's game is that they don't feel too good after the wins yesterday, right? Like, we want them feeling good, playing with confidence, but we don't want them being cocky, right? And sometimes that's a fine line. Hopefully they know where that line is and they're feeling good, getting ready to play with confidence, getting ready to play fierce, and but not overly confident or cocky. So a minute and a half remaining in the warm-up period. I'm going to give my voice a little bit of a break. We'll be right back with you for period number 1. Probably after I'm done with this. Yeah. right, time on the warm-up period has expired. The boys are going to start collecting pucks. Give themselves a pep talk. And then we'll get ready to go. I do have a tendency to lose my voice just a little bit through these weekends. So thanks to Chris Sarber, I have a nice hot tea in my hand, and I'm going to try to preserve what I can. But one thing I know full well that I'm not very good at is not talking. So I might be a little quieter than normal, but don't expect me to be quiet, because that's not really what I do. All right, we got Ryder Shields in nets again tonight. Coach is talking to the boys, and we'll see who we've got lined up to get us started for period number 1. All right, out on the ice to get us started, we've got Dormer, Whittingham, Freitas, Butler, and White. "17 minutes up on the board. And away we go. Puck goes back into the Flyers zone. They're going to send it across to the far side and then back again. In their own zone. Cross-ice pass. Freitas gets a stick on it. He turns it around. And then Flyers recollect, send it into the Rampage zone on the near side. Puck down low. Butler tries to tie things up on the far side. Dormer sends the puck up the wall. Now it's going to bounce up and out of the zone. Butler has it. Sends it across ice to White. White cross ice. Back over to Dormer. Dormer's into the zone to Whittingham. Shot taken. Goaltender has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. We'll get a face-off in the Flyer zone with 16:23 left in period number 1. And already the Flyers coach is going crazy on the bench. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Banyan, Whitted, Bennett, and Bisley. Puck goes back into the corner. Flyers get there, send it around the near side, up and out. Bennett over to Bisley. Bisley feeds it through for Banyan, bounces, and now it gets deflected into the zone down low. Flyers send it around the boards to the near side. Bennett holds it, sends it back down. Whitted turns, tries to center the pass. Flyers coming up and out of the zone now. They're through neutral into the Rampage zone. Quick poke check. Shot taken. Shields has it. He's going to hang on. 15:56 left in period number 1. Face off in the Rampage zone. Fresh skaters out on the ice. We've got Judkins, Flanagan, Sarver, Fuhrer, and White. Puck goes to the near side wall, up to Flanagan. Flanagan sends it up and out. Flyers dump it back in. They have to tag up. Shields holds it up behind the net. It's going to send it to the far side. White up the board. Sarver off the wall. It ends up back in the corner. White comes back up to Sarver, off the wall for Judkins. Judkins up to Flanagan. Flanagan takes the red line. He's going to dump it in. Puck gets tied up down low in the corner on the near side. It's going to go around to the other side. Flanagan and Judkins in there. Judkins centers the pass. Nobody home. Puck comes up but not out. White turns around, sends it back in from the blue line. Flyers have it down low. Send it up the near side, off the wall. They're into the Rampage zone on the near side. Shot taken goes high, and Shields is going to knock it down. White picks it up, skates to the far side. Sends a stretch pass for Roberts off of his stick, and Flyers lose the handle, and now Rahojan gets a stick on it. Flyers are going to get it back. Puck gets sent back into the Rampage zone, and that one's going to be icing. So with 14:50 left in period number 1, we'll get a face-off back in the Flyer zone. On the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahojian, Bennett, and Butler. Tied up on the draw. Flyers get there first. They skate back behind their net. Send it to the far side, up and out. We got 2-on-1 coming into the zone. Quick pass over. And with 14:40 left in period number 1, the Flyers are going to go up by a score of 1-0. Quick transition through. Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Freitas, Whittingham, Bisley, and White. Flyers back in the Rampage zone on the near side. Centering pass. Shot taking, Shields with a save, and now it's going to get cleared up and out of the zone. Flyers turn it back around, and then White's going to pick it up. He's into the Flyer zone. White with the shot goes up and over, ends up on the far wall, bounces out of the zone. Bisley has to come back for it. Bisley turns, sends it over to Freitas on the near side. Freitas dumps it into the zone. Dormer is going to give chase on the forecheck. Dormer ties things up down low. Whittingham comes in to help out as well. Puck back behind the Flyers net. Flyers have it. Banyan sends it off the wall, bounces out front. Butler keeps it in the zone, bounces around. Banyan sends it back behind the net. Tries to center the pass. Flyers skate to the near side. Quick steal by Whitted. Whitted back into the zone. He's going to dump it and give chase down low into the corner. Ties things up in the far corner. Comes up the far wall. Up to the point. Butler knocks it down. Shoots it from the blue line. Goaltender makes a save. Whitted can't get it on the stick. Now it's bouncing around out front. Comes back to Butler. It's going to bounce just outside the zone. Fuhrer sends it off the wall. Back in. Flyers clear it hard. That should be icing. And it is indeed. 13:15 left in period number 1. We're going to face off back in the Flyer zone. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Flanagan, Judkins, Bennett, and Bisley. Tied up on the draw. It's going to come up to Bennett at the point. Sends it down the wall. Flanagan holds it up back behind the net. Gets tied up down low. He's got Judkins in to try to help him out. Puck still bouncing around behind. Looks like Flyers are going to skate it to the near side. And unable to clear the zone. Now it's going to come back to a Flyers player who sends it deep. Doesn't connect. And that is icing. 12:53 left in period number 1. Face-off will be back in the Flyers zone. Same crew out as before. Puck comes up to the point. Shot from the point goes wide. Flyers are going to clear it on the near side. Send a pass across there into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Bisley gets in the way of it. Puck comes up. Sarver turns around with it. He skates out of the zone. Sarver takes the red line. He's going to dump it in and give chase. Flyers pick it up behind their net. They're going to skate to the far side. Send a pass across. Goes off a stick. It's going to go deep. Play will continue. White brings it to the far side, sends it up the wall. Sarver off the wall. Now Flyers with a quick steal shot. Goes wide of the net. Hook up the near side wall. Shot comes through, gets deflected wide. Puck comes out front. Judkins tries to send it to the wall. Flyers with the steal. Back to the near wall. Flanagan gets there. He's going to clear the zone with it. Chips it up off of a body. He's going to go for a change. Flyers coming back the other way. The ref is absolutely in the way. Again. Roberts sends it across to the far side corner. White up the boards. Foster picks it up. He's going to skate with it. Foster's up out of the zone. Across the red line. Flyers send it back over to the near side. They're back into the Rampage zone. Try to feed it down front. Shields with a quick save. Secondary save. Puck is back behind the net. Puck ends up in the near side corner. Fuhrer sends it up the wall, unable to clear. Roberts takes it away, sends it on the backhand up and out of the zone. Flyers back in their own zone with it. Rahojan on the forecheck. And now Flyers are going to turn with it at neutral ice. They send it through. Shields has it in his glove. 11:08 left in period number 1. Face-off in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Whittingham, Freitas, Dormer, Bennett, and Butler. Tied up on the draw. Flyers have it. Shot, body's in the way, doesn't make it through. Secondary shot, body's in the way, doesn't make it through. Puck comes up. Freitas is going to get there, just over skates it. Now Whittingham sends it in. Puck is deep behind the Flyers' net. Flyers send it to the far wall. Comes up, Butler pokes it, makes a nifty little move. Shot, body's in the way. Flyers coming back the other direction. Flyers into the Rampage zone. Shot taken, goes wide of the net. Dormer picks it up. He's going to clear the zone. Whittingham in the Flyer zone. Drops it for Dormer. Dormer takes a shot, goes up and over, just gets way too much underneath that one. Puck comes up to the blue line, does not come out. Dormer turns around with it. Turns back to Butler. Butler over to Bisley. Bisley with the shot. Goaltender makes a save. It's bouncing around out front. Drexel pulls it out of the air. He backhands it towards the net. Goes just wide, ends up in the near corner. Puck comes up to the blue line. Bisley keeps it in, and then Flyers are now going to turn it around. They're coming back the other way. They dump it into the Rampage zone. They're going to go for a change. Shields leaves it for White. White skates to the near side. Flyers back into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Shields with the save. He's going to hang on. 9 minutes and 50 seconds left in period number 1. We're going to face off in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Bisley, and White. Drexel skates it to the far wall, sends it off the boards, out to neutral ice. Banyan's in on the forecheck. Flyers send it up and just out. Drexel's going to turn with it at neutral ice. Pass across, goes off of a body. Flyers send it back into their own zone. Back to the near side. Cross ice pass. They're into the Rampage zone on the far side. Bisley ties things up down the wall. Flyers back behind the net. Centering pass comes up to a Flyers player at the top of the circle. Shot gets deflected wide of the net. Bounce it around. Ends up out front. Flyers keep it in the zone. Driving down the near side wall. Goes back behind the net. Whitted's going to send it off the boards. Takes a bounce for Drexel. And now the Flyers clear it back out. Rampage get a change. Flyers back in the Rampage zone. Shot from up high. White gets in front of that one. Puck ends up behind the net. It goes to the far side. Flyers center the pass. Fan on the shot, and Flanagan's going to pick it up. He's coming back the other way. Rampage have numbers if they can get there. Flanagan to White. White takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. It ends up back in the corner. Puck takes a weird bounce, comes up and out, and Fuhrer has to rush back for it. White was going for a change. Fuhrer sends a pass up to Flanagan. Flanagan's into the zone, drops it for Judkins. Judkins takes a shot. Goaltender has it in his glove. He's going to hang on. We'll get a face-off in the Flyer zone with 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in period number 1. Out on the ice, we've got Flanagan, Judkins, Sarver, Butler, and Fuhrer. Puck comes up to Butler. Butler shoots it. Goes through. Goaltender makes a save. Puck down low. Comes back up to a Flyers player. Flyers are out of the zone. They're across the red line. Chip it into the Rampage zone. Takes a weird bounce off the board. Shot. Shields with a save. And now Flanagan coming back the other way. Sarver back to Flanagan. Flanagan feeds across to Sarver. Just bounces off the stick. Comes up the far wall. Flyers coming back. They're out of the zone. And he was offside. I could see it. Play will continue. Puck goes to the far wall. Back again. Gets fed down low. Comes up and not out. And now Flanagan's going to turn. Can't quite clear it. Butler makes the move. He's going to skate it up and out of the zone. He takes the red line. He's on the far side. He's into the Flyer zone on the far side. Rampage get a change. Butler keeps driving it down low. Roberts tries to center the pass out front. Comes up to Foster at the blue line. He's going to drive down the far wall. Makes a quick move. And now Flyers have the puck back. They're coming back the other way. Dump it into the Rampage zone. Shields holds it up, leaves it for Bennett. Bennett up to Roberts. Just off the stick. Flyers come back. They're offside again. But who am I to judge? I'm only actually watching this hockey game. Bennett knocks it back into the Flyer zone. They send the cross-ice pass and back again to the near side. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone. Shields plays it to the near side wall. Tied up down low. Bennett flips it up in the air, out of the zone. It's going to go back into the Flyer zone. Rahojian giving chase on the forecheck. Flyers send it back up the near side. I don't think it was deflected. They waved it off, though. Roberts clears the zone with it. Flyers back to neutral ice. Pass across. They're going to turn and dump it into the Rampage zone. Flyers down the near side. Center of the pass. And Dormer picks that one up. He clears the zone with it. Whittingham coming in. He's going to backhand it into the Flyers zone. Flyers pick it up in their own zone. Send it up the near side wall. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone. White has to come back for it. Turns. Fires it off the boards out to neutral. Flyers with a steal. They're coming back the other way. Shot taken, goes up and over, ends up on the far wall. Whittingham picks it up. He's going to skate down the far side. He's into the zone. Sends it to the near side corner. Puck goes around to the far side. And Freitas turns around and keeps it in the zone, dumps it deep. Dormer's going forward to the near side corner. Everything's tied up down low on the near side. Dormer's in there. Freitas comes in to help out. And so far, the puck has not moved. Puck comes loose, and now Dormer turns around with it. It's back into the corner. Flyers are going to send it to the other side. Off the boards, comes up and out to neutral ice. Flyers turn around, try to fire it, and then Fuhrer sends it back the other direction. That hit a player that was going to the bench. That was too many men on the ice. Flyers to the near side. They're going to chip it across to the far side. It bounces the far corner. And then Whitted picks it up to Banyan. Banyan turns, looking for Drexel. Goes off a stick. The Flyers send it back the other way. Banyan with the takeaway. Gets caught up on the linesman. Drexel sends it up and out. Flyers send it back in, just wide of the net. White has to come back for it. He sends it, or skates it to the far side. Holds up in the corner. Sends it around the boards to the near side. Comes up to the point, but not out. Shot. Shields with the save. Drexel pulls it out of the air. Gets pinned up against the wall, and now he's going to backhand it up and out of the zone. Flyers turn around, dump it back into the Rampage zone. Shields leaves it for Whitted. Whitted skates to the near side, up to Banyan. Goes off the stick, comes out of the zone. Drexel in there to do battle. And everything's tied up, but it ends up in the Flyers zone. Flyers turn around, flip the puck to the near side. Back in the Rampage zone. Bennett sends it up and out. Flyers coming back the other way. Sarver back to Butler. Butler up the wall. And Sarver's going to recollect. He skates across to the near side. Up to Flanagan and into the zone. Flyers have the puck. Sarver with the steal out front. Tries to feed it to Judkins. Shot doesn't quite make it through. It's bouncing around. Flyers have it back. They send it off the boards. Up and out. It's going to go all the way down. Then it recollects back in behind the Rampage net. Pass across. Player is wide open. Tries to make a move. And that one's going to go in. So with 3:32 left in period number one, the Flyers go by a score of 2-0. That's two goals. Two goals where the official was not on the same half of the ice as the goal that was scored. 3:32 left in period number one. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahojian, Bisley, and White. Rampage win the draw. Rahojian sends it over to the far side. Bisley feeds it up. Flyers send it back the other way. Bisley goes down to the far side, sends it up the wall. Puck is still in the zone. Gets sent back down deep. Bisley has to skate it to the near side, change direction to the far corner. White sends it up the boards. It comes up and out of the zone. It's chipped back in again. White pulls it off the wall, backhands it up for Foster. Foster turns around into the Flyers zone. Flyers have it back coming back this direction. A little back and forth in neutral ice. Rahosian's going to get in there. He collects it. He's into the Flyers zone. Puck gets poked to the far wall. Up and out of the zone. Flyers are going to chip it in on the near side. Shields plays it up off the glass for Roberts. Roberts sends a pass across to Whittingham. Whittingham comes in. Puck goes towards the goaltender. Goaltender makes a save. It's back behind the net. Flyers have it on the far side. They chip it off the wall up to Fuhrer, and the puck ends up back in the Rampage zone. Shields plays it back to the near side wall. Puck bounces out. Butler's going to collect it. He skates up and out into the Flyers zone on the near side. Butler drives it down low, gets tied up in the corner. Comes to a Flyers player on the far side. Flyers up and out of the zone. They take the far side, back behind the Rampage net now. Turn around, send it down low. Butler sends it to the near side. Flyers are still there. Centering pass comes up to Whittingham. Whittingham to Freitas. Freitas takes the red line. He's going to feed it into the Flyers zone. Flyers take it on the far side. Comes up the wall and out of the zone. White feeds it back towards Freitas. Flyers coming back the other way. Into the Rampage zone. Pass across. It's going to go to the far wall. Back behind the Rampage net. Bennett sends it up the near side looking for Banyan. Takes a weird bounce off the boards and doesn't make it to him. Puck gets dumped into the Rampage zone. White picks it up back behind the Rampage net. Sends it off the boards. Flyers can't play it. Play will continue. Banyan in on the forecheck. Puck comes up and out of the zone. Flyers coming back the other direction. They're way offsides. We actually finally got a whistle. That's only the third time that I've seen that. Sorry, folks. That's not the kind of thing I normally get fired up about, but they actually started watching the game. 54 seconds left in period number one. We had a face-off outside the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Banyan, Whitted, Drexel, Bisley, and White. Flyers turn and dump it into the zone. Shields holds it up, and now he's going to play it to the near side wall. White gets there. He's got a player on. Puck gets stuck on the wall, and now it's going to get cleared out to neutral. Flyers recollect. Back to the near side, into the Rampage zone. To the point, shot taken. Shields turns to the side, ends up on the far wall. Puck bouncing around. Drexel flips it up in the air, out of the zone. Banyan coming through. He picks it up. He's into the Flyers zone. Poke check, and the Flyers have the puck back. They turn around back behind their net. Up and out of the zone. Into the Rampage zone with it on the near side. Back to White. He's going to turn with it, regroup in his own zone. And time expires on period number one. So your score after one is 2-0 in favor of the Junior Flyers. And just like our first game this weekend, the Rampage have some catching up to do. Of course, the one that's outside the one. Coach sounds a little bit fired up, and I think he probably should be. Boys need to dial it up a little bit. And I maybe need to dial it down a little bit. I really struggle when they can't get calls like offside correct. But I'll calm back down a little bit. All right, 17 minutes up on the board. Let's see who we got to get us started for period number two. Ryder Shields going back to defend the net. Out on the ice, we've got Whittingham, Freitas, Dormer, Butler.
and White.
Tied up on the draw. Flyers are going to send it back. Skate to the far side, into the zone. White knocks it down. White sends a pass over, looking for Whittingham. Whittingham has to wrangle it back in, sends it back to Butler. Butler over to White. White off the boards, looking for Whittingham. Flyers with the steal. They're going to dump it into the Rampage zone. Shields plays it off the far wall. Pass out in front. It's going to end up in the near corner. Butler fans on the pass, and now puck still in the zone. Flyers skate down, shot taken. Shields with the save. Puck back behind the net. White turns. He's going to fire it up and out. That's going to be on net. Play will continue. Flyers goaltender comes out, plays it to a man right at center ice, takes a shot on net, and Shields is just going to hang on to it. .16-12 left in period number 2. We'll get a face-off in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Banyan, Whitted, Bennett, and Bisley. Rampage win the draw. Bisley turns to the near side up the wall. Drex comes off the wall with it. Whitted picks it up, feeds it to the near side. It's into the Flyers zone. Flyers chip it, takes a weird bounce off the wall, ends up bouncing across. Flyers coming back the other direction. Puck down low into the zone. Little back and forth. Shot taken. Shields has it in his glove. He's going to hang on to it. 15:47 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Sarver, Flanagan, Judkins to come out and join Bisley and Bennett. Flyers win the draw. Comes up the near side wall. They're going to turn and dump it back behind the Rampage net. Bennett pokes it up the wall, and now Flanagan clears it. It's back into the Flyer zone. Sarver on the forecheck. Bisley over to Bennett. Bennett stretch pass from Judkins off his stick into the Flyer zone. Puck comes back out to neutral. Flyers into the zone. Bisley off the near side wall. Sarver turns with it. He skates it up and out. Sarver's into the Flyer zone. Shot goes off of a skate, ends up in the far corner. A little bouncing around. Flanagan turns, fires. Goaltender knocks it down. It ends up in the near corner. Puck up to neutral. Fuhrer sends it across and past the flex back into the Rampage zone. Bounces back towards Fuhrer. He's going to skate to the far side. Sends a pass up the boards. It goes off of the ref again and bounces backwards, stays in the zone. Fuhrer tied up on the boards on the far side. And then Judkins clears the zone with it. Flyers have to regroup. Flyers coming back the other way into the Rampage zone. Fuhrer picks it up, sends it to the near side, off the wall, into the neutral zone. Flyers pick it up, skate it to the far side. They're back in the Rampage zone on the far side. Behind the Rampage net to the near side now. Turn fired off of a stick up into the netting and out of play. 14:16 left in period number 2. On the ice, we've got Foster, Rahosian, Roberts, Bisley, and White. Tied up, goes down low into the corner. Puck back behind the Rampage net now. White's in there. Foster pulls it out of the pile. He turns around, skates it up, sends it up to neutral ice. Flyers send it back in. Shields holds it up. Backhands it up the near side wall. Shot goes wide of the net, ends up on the far wall. Back down, Shields turns to the side, it ends up at the near side. Shot goes up and over, ends up in the far corner. Foster sends it up the wall. Roberts sends it across. It doesn't connect. Flyers keep it in the zone. Shot taken. Shields with 2 saves in a row. Bisley skates to the far side. Sends it up the wall on the far side. Bisley has to pick it up. He's going to turn and fire. Goes off a glove, comes out to neutral ice. Flyers send it to the far side. Back up and into the Rampage zone. They were offside again. Puck gets tied up down low in the near side corner. White sends it around to the far side. Pope comes back to Foster. Foster's going to send to the distance. So we get a whistle for icing. Faceoff will be back in the Rampage zone. 12:52 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Friedis, Whittingham, Fuhrer, and Bennett. Rampage win the draw. Fuhrer sends it up the boards, but not out. It's on the near side board. Bounces back out to Bennett. Bennett across to Whittingham. Whittingham feeds it up, looking for Dormer. It goes off the stick, ends up in the far corner. Up the far wall. Flyers coming back up and out of the zone. Into the Rampage zone on the far side. Bennett sends it up the boards. Flyers able to hold it at the blue line. Pass across. Shot taken. Shields with the save. Bouncing around. It's going to come up and out of the zone. Flyers send it back in, but they have to tag up. Bennett sends it up to Friedis. Friedis is in one-on-one into the zone. He holds up in the far wall. Tries to center a pass. Doesn't get much on it. Flyers coming back the other way. Butler looked about 15 feet tall. Flyers with a steal back into the zone. Shot taken. Shields had the save. And the Flyers get there. It was sitting in the blue paint. And they're going to finish it off at 11:57 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Bisley, and Butler. Tied up on the draw. Looks like Flyers are going to turn around with it. They're on the far side into the Rampage zone. Shot taken. Shields with the save. Puck ends up on the near side. Down low into the corner. Cross back behind the Rampage net. Puck comes up and out. Butler's going to pick it up. Turns and skates with it. Out of the zone. Quick move. He's through neutral. He's into the zone. It comes back up and out. Whitted across to White. Rampage have to tag up. White's going to dump it in. Flyers send it up and out. And we get a whistle for icing. 11:19 left in period number 2. Faceoff's going to be back in the Flyer zone. On the ice, we've got Flanagan, Sarver, Judkins, White, and Fuhrer. Rampage win the draw up to White. He's going to send it just wide of the net into the near side corner. Judkins up to the point. Fuhrer off the wall. Sarver over to White. White turns, fires. Goaltender with the save. Puck ends up in the far wall. Flyers skated up and out into the Rampage zone on the far side. White turns, sends it off of a body, comes up and out. Flyers have to tag up. They're going to turn and dump it into the Rampage zone. Shields holds it up, feeds it to White. White resets and regroups behind his own net. Sends a pass up for Flanagan. Flanagan over to Sarver. Sarver's into the zone on the near side. Off the wall, Flanagan chips it up and out front, and nobody could get there. Flyers coming back the other way. They're going to dump it in on net. Shields is just going to hang on. Apparently, the official wanted him to play it, but you cannot direct the player to play it if he doesn't want to. 10:24 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Rahosian, Foster, Bisley, Butler. Nope, sorry. Roberts, Rahosian, Foster, Bennett, and Bisley. Flyers take a shot. Body's in the way. It's going to go down in the corner. Takes a weird bounce off the wall, and now Roberts clears it. Flyers send it back in, but they have to tag up. Shields holds it up for Bisley. Bisley sends it up and out. Freitas is into the zone. The Flyers goaltender plays it to the near wall. Flyers regroup back in their zone. They're going to turn with it. Send it up the near side wall. Foster holds it not quite inside the zone. Flyers back into the Rampage zone. Send the pass across. The shot goes up and over. Ends up the near side. Up to the point. Flyers send it back down low. Bisley picks it up. He's going to skate to the near side with it. Bisley up to Rahosian. Rahosian takes an elbow to the head on his way down. Puck gets sent into the Flyers zone. Flyers have the puck behind their own net. Freitas with a quick steal. Oh, looking for Foster. Just couldn't hold it on his stick. It's a nice look. Freitas with another steal. He's going to turn and dump it. Puck down low in the near side corner. It's going to go across to the far side, or back to the near side, excuse me. Things tied up down low. Whittingham's in there. Dormer gets in there as well. Flyers turn. They're going to send it up the near side wall and out to neutral ice. Banyan comes back for it. Banyan turns up to Butler. Butler's into the zone. Makes a quick move. Across looking for Dormer. Puck gets tied up on the far wall. And Flyers are going to skate out with it. Flyers dump it in on net. Shields leaves it for White. Sends it up the far wall. Flyers with a quick steal, turn, send it up and over the net to the near side. Whittingham clears it up and out, bounces off the linesman, and now the Flyers are going to dump it back in on the far side. Tied up in the near side corner. White and Butler are in there. Puck starts to get moved. Comes up and out of the zone. Flyers flip it back in. Butler turns with it to the far side and then back to the near side. Off the wall for Whittingham. Whittingham wrangles it back in. It's taken down from behind. Flyers coming back the other way. White with it back in the zone. Feeds it across up and out to neutral ice. Flyers dump it on the far side. White sends it to the far side for Butler. Butler makes a move in the corner. Tries to turn back around again. Sends it over to the near side. White up the near side wall to Sarver. Sarver off the wall for Judkins. Out of the zone, and now Judkins is going to send it. Flyers turn it back around. Butler up the far wall. Sarver pulls it off the wall, sends it into the zone. Flyers come back out the other way. It comes back to White in his own zone. Pass across for Flanagan. Flanagan's into the zone. Takes a shot up high. Body's in the way. Back to Flanagan. He takes a shot. Puck up to the near side. Flyers send it up. Bennett knocks it down. Held up on the near side wall. Up to Sarver. Sarver turns with it over for Judkins. Off a stick. Flyers send it back out. That goes the distance. We get a whistle. It'll be icing, and we should go to the ice cut. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in period number 2. And when we come back, the faceoff will be in the Flyer zone. And Rampage currently down by 3-0. So boys have a lot of catching up to do. Hopefully we'll see a little bit of a brand new team come out of the locker room after the ice cut. But in the meantime, I'm going to go on mute, rest my voice a little bit. We'll see you guys back in about 10 minutes or so. All right, folks, welcome back as we get ready to start the second half of the second period. It's been a pretty rough go of it so far for the boys, down 3-0 at the moment. And hopefully they hit a little bit of a reset button and they're ready to turn it up so we can finish this game out strong. 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second period. Faceoff will be in the Flyer zone. And boys talking to coach real quick over at the bench, getting ready to get started. All right, out on the ice to get us started for the second half of this second period. We've got White, Butler, Whittingham, Dormer, and Freitas. Face off in the Flyer zone. Flyers win the draw back into the corner. Send it up and out to neutral ice. Butler turns with it, feeds it over to White. White makes a move to the near side wall, flips it up and just out of the zone. Whittingham's going to wrangle it in. He skates to the far side. He's going to backhand it into the Flyer zone. White gives chase down low. Whittingham sends it out front. Puck bouncing around. It's loose, and it gets sent through the crease to the far corner. Flyers player just laying on top of their goaltender. Rampage just unable to take advantage. Good look. Back out to neutral ice. Butler ties things up on the far wall. Dormer's going to send it hard in the Flyer zone. Flyers goaltender holds up. Sends it up to his defenseman at the dot. Stretch pass. It bounces back to Drexel. Bannion's going to poke it into the Flyer zone. Flyer send it off the wall on the far side. Through neutral into the Rampage zone. Flyers skate it down low. Back behind the net. Pass up front, comes up to the blue line. Shot goes up and over, ends up on the near wall. And we have a stoppage. I think the net came off, it looks like. 5:45 left in period number 2. Face off in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Whitted, Drexel, Bannion, Bisley, and Bennett. Flyers win the draw. Puck ends up down low in the corner on the near side. Sent over the far side. Bennett's going to get there. Fans on it. Flyers pick it back up. Pass across gets deflected and broken up. Bisley skates to the far wall. Flyers chip it back into the zone. Up the near side wall. Tied up on the near wall. Drexel sends it up. It comes up and out to neutral ice. Flyers send it back but not in. Puck tied up on the near side wall. Back into the Rampage zone. Bisley's going to turn with it in his own zone. He's back behind his own net to the near side. Up to Drexel. Drexel turns. He's going to skate with it. Sends it to the far corner. Puck rims around to the near side. Banning tries to tie things up. Drexel gets in there to help out. Puck down low in the corner on the near side. Battle for the puck. Bounces back up to the near side wall. Comes off the wall and across to the far side. Drexel's going to pick it up. Turns with it. Flips it up in the air. Flyers are going to pull it out of the air. Back in their own zone. Send it across to the near side. Up the wall on the near side. Into the Rampage zone. Shot taken goes off a boot and ends up in the far corner. Puck bounces back behind. Flyers send it to the near side wall. Battle for the puck down low on the near wall. Fuhrer gets there. He's going to skate it over to the far side, send it up to Flanagan. Flanagan over to Judkins. Judkins is into the zone. Rampage are offside. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in period number 2. Face off outside the Flyer zone. Out on the ice, we've got Judkins, Flanagan, Sarver, White, and Bisley. Puck goes into the Flyers zone. Up and out. It doesn't connect. That should be icing. And we get a whistle. Face off will be back in the Flyer zone. Same group out as before. 4:05 left in period number 2. Put into the corner, up the far wall, out of the zone. Flyers pick it up. They skate to the far side, blow a tire on their way in. Puck down low into the corner on the far side. We got Judkins and White in there. Puck back into the corner on the far side. Puck back low into the corner. Judkins loses an edge, and Flyers are going to pick it up. Skate up the wall on the far side. Centering pass. Bouncing around, and now White sends it up. It goes through some skates. Into the zone. Play will continue. And then Flanagan gets there, and the player's laying on the puck. He's laying on the puck. That's a penalty. In the crease, that's an automatic goal. 3:16 left in period number 2. They're talking about it. We'll see what we got. In the crease, it's an automatic goal. 3:16 left in period number 2. Faceoff will be in the Flyer zone, and we do have, I believe he's calling. He just made a call that I didn't catch the intent of. He's calling something. He's calling something. I don't know what, but it looks like it's going to be a penalty shot. Yeah. All right, so Tommy Flanagan out to take the penalty shot. Tommy Flanagan for the penalty shot. All right, Flanagan's going to make his move to the outside. Stay back into the near side. Quick shot. Goaltender makes a save. All right, so we will get a face-off in the Flyers zone. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, Fuhrer, and Bennett. Puck gets dumped back into the zone. Flyers goaltender holds it up back behind his net. Flyers skate to the near side. Puck comes up and out. Roberts turns with it up to Rahosian. Rahosian back in the zone, 1-on-1, takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. He's going to hang on to it. We get a stoppage. We'll get a face-off in the Flyer zone. 2:52 left in period number 2. Out on the ice, we've got Roberts, Foster, Rahosian, White, and Butler. Flyers send it up the far side wall into the Rampage zone on the far corner. Up to Roberts. Roberts sends it off to neutral. Flyers dump it back in. Puck bouncing around out front. And now White's going to wrangle it in. He skates it up and out, takes the red line, sends it over. Butler on the far side. Rampage going for a change. Butler tries to keep things tied up down low. Puck tied up on the far wall. Whittingham gets in there. Freitas back behind the net. Makes a move to the near side. Puck down low. Whittingham's in there. Warmer comes in to help out. Over to Freitas. Freitas takes a shot. Goaltender makes a save. They blow it dead. I think the net came off. 1:52 left in period number 2. We're going to face off in the Flyer zone. Out on the ice, we've got Dormer, Freitas, Whittingham, Bisley, and Bennett. Rampage win the draw up to Bisley. Bisley sends it down the boards for Freitas. Freitas tries to send it out front. Puck gets stuck on the back of the net. Bounces way up in the air. Freitas has his feet taken out from under him. Dormer comes in to help out. Freitas can't get up. He's got players standing on top of him. Flyers send it up the far wall. Off the wall. They're coming back through. Into the Rampage zone, offside. Shot. Bisley gets in front of that one. Sends it off the near side boards. Whittingham to Freitas. Flyers turn it back around. Comes back to Bisley. He's going to skate it. Bisley on the near side. In for Freitas. Freitas sends it across. Dormer. Dormer makes a move. Feeds it towards the net. It deflects and ends up on the near wall. Dormer comes in. Puck down low in the corner. Banyan gets in there as well. Puck bounces around to the far corner. Flyers lose the handle momentarily, regain the puck, send it over to the far side, up and out. Fuhrer with the steal. He's going to backhand it into the zone. Goaltender is just going to cover it up and hang on. 41 seconds left in period number 2. We're going to face off in the Flyer zone. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Fuhrer, and Butler. Rampage win the draw, back to Fuhrer, sends it a quick little redirect, and the goaltender has it. 37 seconds left in period number 2. Puck down low into the corner. Banyan gets in there. Drexel's in there. Puck tied up down low. Drexel pokes it out, sends it up to Fuhrer at the point. Comes past him, out of the zone. He's going to have to race backward. He's got a player on him. He makes a move to the near side, up to Drexel. Drexel sends the puck in hard. Flyers goaltender holds it up, sends it to the far wall. 10 seconds left in the period. Flyers clear it up and out. In the Rampage zone on the far side. Send it back towards Shields. It goes off the side of the net, and time will expire. So your score after 2 is 3-0 in favor of the Junior Flyers. And again, Rampage have some catching up to do. He's going to go to the bench, let Coach give him a talk. We're seeing a lot more action towards the end there. Rampage picked things up the second half of that second period. Still nothing to show for it. Let's hope they've got a little bit more in the tank and can. I feel like we just need to get one right now. I feel like the Rampage just need to get one to kind of loosen things up. Get that monkey off their back, and then hopefully that'll open things up a little bit and they can carry some more momentum. The boys battled well in the second half of that second period. Out on the ACU that started for period number 3, we've got Freitas, Dormer, Whittingham, Butler, White. Tight up on the draw, comes back to Butler. Butler over to White. Goes off of a Flyer escape, bounces back in the Rampage zone. Butler has to get there. He's got a player on him. Makes a move to the near side, sends it up the near side wall. Up and out of the zone. Dormer's got it. He skates through. Whittingham has it on his stick, tries to feed it through, comes up to the blue line to Butler. Back through, and now Flyers poke it back up and out of the zone. White sends it back the other way, Rampage have to tag up. They do so. Puck on the far wall. Dormer's going to get in there. He pokes it around to the near side. Flyers defenseman gets there, skates it to the near side. Puck comes up and out. Flyers pick it up. They're into the Rampage zone. Pass across, centering pass, and a player runs right into the goaltender. The junior Flyers coach is, holy cow, I thought I had a big mouth. And Shields looks like he's hurting. We've got a penalty coming to Butler for a trip. I don't buy that one, but what do I know? 16:10 left in period number 3. Rampage will be shorthanded for the first time in this game. And out on the ice to get us started on the PK, we've got Drexel, Judkins, Bisley, and Bennett. Tied up on the draw. Flyers win it up to the far wall. Judkins gets there, can't clear it. Flyers drive it back down into the corner, up to the far wall, back down low, back up to the point. Flyers toss it across to the near side, back down the near side wall. Puck behind the net. Bisley's in there trying to tie things up. Flyers send it. Bennett gets a stick in the way. Puck gets sent down the near side wall into the corner. Flyers back up the near side wall. Puck bounces through in the 15:28 left in period number 3. Flyers go up by a short-handed goal, or I'm sorry, a power play goal, excuse me. Out on the ice, we've got Judkins, White, Flanagan, Sarver, and Fuhrer. Rampage down by 4. Unfortunate penalty call. Sarver rings it in over to White. White up the boards on the near side. He's going to dump it in the zone hard. Puck rims around to the far side boards. Comes just out of the zone. Back to Fuhrer. Fuhrer backhands it over for White. White up to Flanagan. Goes off a stick, and now Flyers come back the other way. Puck goes to the far side boards. Fuhrer sends it back the other way. Sarver puts a big hit on a player. Puck comes to the near side. Gets tipped into the zone, offside. And they did get the whistle. They also didn't yell off like they're supposed to. 14:51 left in period number 3. Faceoff be just outside the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Whitted, Banyan, Bennett, and Butler. Tied up on the draw. Off the near side boards. Flyers send it hard down the boards. Drexel gets there. Comes up and out of the zone, and the ref took what appears to be a really painful shot to the nether regions. I'm sorry, maybe it was on his hand. He appears to be hurting, though. 14:39 left in period number 3. Same group out as before. Face-off will be outside the Rampage zone. Rampage win the draw. Bennett over to Butler. Butler up for Drexel. It doesn't connect. Or maybe it did. No icing call. Play will continue. Puck comes up the near side boards. Quick steal by Banyan. He turns it around, sends it out of the zone. Flyers dump it back in. They have to tag up. We've got all kinds of activity after the puck leaves the area. Stuck on the near side boards, and now it's going to come up and out to neutral. Flyers send it across the far side. They're going to dump it in. It goes off of a skate, bounces way up. I think it hit the netting and came back down. 14:04 left in period number 3. Faceoff should be outside the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got They're going to put it inside the zone. That should be outside the zone. I don't think so. We've got Roberts, Verhoeven, Foster, Fuhrer, and Bisley. Puck down low in the corner. Bisley sends it up the wall on the far side. Bounces out and around. Bouncing down front. Bisley sends it to the near side wall. Fuhrer comes back this way. Up to Roberts. Roberts off the wall for Foster. Foster takes the far side. Is into the zone. Makes a quick move. Foster tries to back in towards the net. Flyers sends up the near side. Puck comes back across. Fuhrer off the wall. Flyers come back to the near side and then send a cross-ice pass to the far side and back to the back end of the Rampage zone. Butler turns with it. He's going to skate to the near side. Poke check at neutral ice, and now little chaos. Whittingham picks it up in his own zone, sends it towards the goaltender. Play continues. Flyers send it to the far side, up and out of the zone. Freitas turns around, sends it back in. Flyers blow a tire on their way back to the puck, but still manage to get it to the near side. They turn, fire it up in the air, and it's going to bounce back into the Rampage zone. Butler tries to tie things up down low, sends it up the boards to the near side. Freitas turns a bit. Off the boards for White. White over to Whittingham. Whittingham down the wall on the far side. Bouncing around, and now White's going to turn and shoot. Body's in the way. Flyers coming back the other direction. Up to the far side. Puck comes up and out. Gets caught in the linesman's skates. Freitas is going to flip the puck down low into the Flyer zone. Flyers send it up the near side wall. Comes through. Play will continue. Bisley picks it up, skates to the far side, sends it up off of a stick, and now Flanagan's going to send it to the far wall. He's into the Flyer zone. Flanagan for Sarver. Sarver turns, shoots, goes off of the body, comes to the near wall. Flanagan tries to tie things up on the wall. Sarver now battling. Flyers player coming up the near side. Sends it out off the wall. They feed it to the near side. They're through neutral into the Rampage zone with it. Off of a skate. Puck goes down below and ends up on the far wall. Centering pass. Quick poke check, and now it's going to come back to a Flyers player. Shields turns that one aside. It comes to the near side wall. Up to Flanagan, and on the near wall, still in the zone. And then Bisley's going to clear it. Flyers regroup. Rampage going for a change. Out on the ice. Face off the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Drexel, Banyan, Whitted, Butler, and Bennett. Rampage won the draw back into the corner. Bennett sends it over the far side. Gets poke check back into the corner. Bennett flips it up in the air. Drexel pulls it out of the air. Flyers drop it. Whitted can't play it because it was a hand pass. And then he does play it, and then they blow the whistle. Flyers win the puck back, send it over to the near side. They're going to dump it hard into the Rampage zone. Goes to the far corner. Back to the near side. Oh, takes a weird bounce. The Flyers player is there to pick it up. These boards have been super weird in here. Puck deflects into the near side corner again. Tied up down low. Bennett sends it up the near side boards. Whitted takes the stick to the face that I just saw. Banyan's going to pick it up. Over to Butler. Butler drives it down into the far corner. Tied up down low. Flyers send it up to the point. White sends it right back in and up into the netting and out of play. 10:04 left in period number 3. We'll get a face-off in the Flyers zone. Out on the ice, we've got Foster, Rahojian, Roberts, Fuhrer, and Waite. Flyers win the draw. Going to send it around to the near side. Rahojian gets a stick on that one, and it goes deep into the Rampage zone. Bouncing around, and then still bouncing around. Comes up and out of the zone. Flyers have to tag up. Pass across to the near side. Foster picks it up. Drops it for Fuhrer. Fuhrer up the wall. Comes up to the point, but not out. Flyers send it back down deep. White turns to the near side. Sends it off the wall. Not out. Puck on the near side wall. Goes down low. Centering pass. Body's in the way of the shot. Foster picks it up back behind the net. Sends it up the boards on the near side. It's going to come up and out. And I believe this is going to be icing. And it is indeed. We get a whistle at 9:05 left in period number 3. We'll have a face-off back in the Rampage zone. On the ice, we've got Bisley, Bennett, Whittingham, Freitas, and Dormer. Come on, boys. Let's just get one. Just get one right now. Keep fighting. Down low. Bennett's going to pick it up. Bennett flips it up. Not quite out. Flyers hold it at the blue line. Send it down low. Shot taken. Shields with the save. Secondary shot. Shields is there as well. Up to the point on the far side. Shot. Body's in the way. It's going to come to the near side wall. Puck comes up out of the zone. Flyers turn. Send it in. They have to tag up. Bisley's going to get there. He's got a player on. He changes direction for Bennett to the near side. Bennett up the near side boards. I don't think it connected. They waved off icing. Flyers play it to the far side and back again to the near side. Comes up and out of the zone. Rampage tag up. Puck down in on the far side. Flanagan gets there. Tries to give it to Sarver. Dormer's going to send it up the wall for Fuhrer. Puck down low. Back to Dormer. Dormer back up to Fuhrer. Fuhrer back down the wall. Flyers coming back the other way. Puck gets sent into the near side corner. It's going to bounce up, and then Dormer's out of the zone. He's going to go for a change, and we've got a penalty coming to the junior Flyers for a hold. And the Flyers coach is arguing everything. I'm serious. Like, we're due for a bench minor. And, you know, this is something that I've noticed about the Philly teams. Every time we've played against them, their coaches are the most unprofessional, loudmouth, arguing inappropriately with ref coaches that I've seen from anywhere. And tonight holds with that. Out on the ice to start our power play with 7:49 left in the game. We've got Foster, Whitted, Drexel, Butler, and Bennett. Puck bounces through. Goaltender's going to cover it up. Same group out as before. Puck bouncing around. Drexel's going to knock it down. Skate to the far side. He's going to leave it back for Bennett. Bennett up to Foster. Foster's into the zone. Drops it for Butler. Butler sends it down low. Whitted doing battle down low in the far corner. Foster comes in. Places a check. Puck tied up. Whitted gets knocked down. Gets a stick on it. Puck bounces up and out to neutral. Drexel over to the near side to Butler. Butler dumps it deep. Up, but not out. Bennett sends it down the wall. Whitted over to Drexel. Drexel makes a move down low. It's back up to Butler. Butler gets stuck on a stick. Foster sends it just wide of the net. And Whitted pokes it in. So with 6:49 left in the game, Whitted pokes in the bounce to get a power play goal to get the Rampage on the board. So 6:49 left in the game. Scores 4-1. All right, signs of life. Out on the ice, we've got Friedis, Dormer, Whittingham, Bisley, and White. Tied up on the draw. It's sent back into the Rampage zone. Shields is going to leave it for Bisley. He's facing the near wall. Off the wall for Friedis. Friedis turns, cross ice, looking for Whittingham. Flyers with the steal, they dump it back in. Bisley picks it up, skates into the near side. It's tied up down low, flips it up the near side wall. Friedis turns with it, up in the air towards Whittingham. Was knocked down with the high stick, and so we get a stoppage. We'll have a face-off in the Flyers zone. 6:23 left in period number 3. Same crew out as before. Whittingham, Dormer, Friedis, White, and Bisley. Up to White at the point. White sends it down. Whittingham's back there. Puck goes to the far corner. Flyers turn with it. Friedis with the steal. Sends it up and out. Back into the Rampage zone. White has to come back for it. Play will continue. That came off the Rampage stick. White skates to the far side. Up the board. Takes a weird bounce again. And now it's going to come up and out of the zone. And into the Flyers zone. Friedis turns at the point. Knocks it down. White's going to send it back in. Rampage have to tag. They're going to go for a change. Flyers have it. Up and out of the zone on the near side. Into the Rampage zone. Drexel sends it over to Butler. Butler up for Banyan. Banyan turns with it. He's into the Flyer zone. Over to Whitted. It bounces on him. Drexel picks it up. Centers the pass. And that one gets deflected wide of the net and back behind. Gets poked in the near side corner. Back down low. Whitted turns with it. Looking for Drexel. Drexel fires. It goes wide of the net. The far corner. Whitted picks it up. Centers the pass looking for Drexel. And now Butler's going to wrangle it in. Turns, fires it over the net. It's going to go to the far side. Up and out. And Butler's going to come back for it. Rampage are going to get a change. 4:47 left in the game. Butler makes a move to the near side. Cross ice pass looking for Sarver. It didn't connect. That's going to be icing. Oh, they wave it off. The play will continue. Sarver gets down in there, pins it up. Flyers send it up and now poke it up and out. Bennett comes back into his own zone for it, up and off the wall. Back into the Rampage zone on the near side. Up the near side wall. Flanagan wrangles it in. Scott Sarver on the far side. Over to Sarver. Oh, gosh, it was a good look. Just couldn't quite get on the stick. Body's in the way. Bennett keeps it, or Bisley keeps it in the zone. Now Flyers are going to clear. That'll be icing. 4 minutes exactly left in period number 3. We're going to face off in the Flyers zone. Gosh, that was a good look. Just didn't quite connect. All right, we got one. Let's get one more. Come on, boys. All right, out on the ice, we got Roberts, Verhoeven, Foster, Bisley, and White. Flyers send it around to the far side boards. Comes up and out. Big hit by Foster. White backhands it behind him, and now Flyers send it back the other direction. It's into the zone. Flyers pick it up off the boards. Pass across. It's going to go to the far side and down the wall. Bisley sends it over to the near side. Foster in there to do battle. Puck up the near side boards. Off the wall. Bisley picks it up. Sends it up for Verhoeven, unable to clear. White picks it up behind his own net. Sends it up. Doesn't connect. That's going to be icing, I believe. And we do get a whistle. 3:15. Faceoff will be back in the Rampage zone. Out on the ice, we've got Bennett, Whittingham, Dormer, Freitas, and Butler. Rampage win the draw in the corner. Bennett sends it over the far side. Butler up the far wall. Whittingham sends it up the far wall. Not out. Flyers keep it in the zone, send it to the far wall. The official gets taken out again. Man, that guy's just taking abuse this whole game. Whittingham's going to send it in. Rampage are offside. Dormer couldn't quite get his foot back over the line. 2:53 left in the game. I think faceoff's going to come to the center dot. And our official is going to need an ice bath after this is all over and done with. Flyers skate it to the far side into the Rampage zone. Down low into the corner. Bennett sends it around the boards on the near side. Up to the center. Back down low. Out of the zone. Freitas picks it up. He flips it into the zone. He's going to give chase. Tips it over to the far side. Up the wall to Drexel. Flyers have it back. On the near side, they're going to flip it into the Rampage zone in the far corner. Butler gets there. He's got a player on. Whitted has a player on. He's going to pull it off the wall, turn, skate out with it, feeds it through, goes off a Flyer stick and into the zone. Flyers goaltender plays it to the near corner. And Banyan on applying pressure on the forecheck. Flyers send it to the far side. Whitted holds it in the zone. Whitted can't get anything on the shot, and now the puck bounces around and goes to the far wall. White gets there, keeps it in the zone momentarily. Now it's going to come out. Whitted recollects over to Fuhrer. Fuhrer sends it in on the near side. It's into the zone deep. Tied up down low. Whitted gets in the mix. Flyers send it up and clear it. That'll be icing. 1:38 left in the game. .137 left in the game, and we've got a little action after the game. We've got second and third man in, plus contact to the head, plus holding the face mask. Little action, and I do believe Whitted's going to go to the penalty box. Not really. It's not really all good. So Whitted's being tossed out of the game. Actually, there's 3 from that side. .137 left in the game. Lots of chaos. So far, for what I've seen, is Whitted was ejected. And no penalties assigned to anybody from the Flyers so far. I saw a second and third man in at a minimum. Punches to the head, grabbing the face mask, all of which are ejectable offenses. Five-minute major up on the board. Nothing assigned to the junior Flyers. Apparently, if you're from Philly, you need 3 or 4 people to take on my son. Okay, apparently 2 penalties assigned to the Rampage. So, no, I'm sorry. We've got a 5-on-4. Sarver, White, Drexel, and Butler. White gets cross-checked down to the ice. We do have a penalty coming. He's got his arm up in the air. He blew the whistle at the wrong time, but at least we have a penalty coming to the Flyers. I think this official took a few too many wraps to the head. 1:18 left in period number 3. We'll be 4-on-4 for the rest of the game. Out on the ice, we've got Drexel, Sarver, Butler, and White. White goes the first time, he gets hooked. Sarver's going to skate it up out of the zone, across the red line. He holds up on the far wall. Sarver feeds it over to Butler, bounces up. Butler has to recollect. Off the wall, Butler takes a shot, goaltender makes a save. Flyers up the near side wall. Flanagan picks up the puck, coming back the other way. He's got Sarver with him. And Rampage are offside and get a really late whistle. .9 seconds left in the game. Out on the ice, we've got Judkins, Foster, Bisley, and Bennett to continue the 4-on-4. Rampage win the draw. Back to Bisley. He's going to turn off the wall. Sends it up, looking for Foster. Flyers coming back the other way. Foster up into the zone. Flyers have it back. 15 seconds left in the game. They're going to send it across ice to the far side. They're going to hold it and let time expire, and that's the game. Your score after 3 is 4-1 in favor of the Junior Flyers. Worst coach, worst parents that we've experienced this weekend and this season so far. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you back tomorrow morning.
They would come out.